I told you it was debate.
أنا أتعلم العربية.
Oh my gosh, you're the first Emirati I've ever met. Cargos, Himalayans, diamond encrusted. It's the stuff that you don't typically see.
Do you think you would have the collection you have if you lived in London?
I don't want that piece anymore.
Okay.
You could sell it and a lot of times make more than what you've spent on it back.
Rumours going around that like Paris is the best place to score these bags. Welcome back, guys, to the Luxury Promise podcast. This episode, I thought we have to bring the lovely Emman from Dubai. Welcome, Emman.
I told you it was debate.
Dubai. I'm trying to learn Arabic.
I really love the effort you make with learning the language. And it's funny because you've actually like played some music. Like, have you heard this? I'm like, I don't even know what that is. And you're like, this is my jam. And I'm like, I love it. Really immersing in the culture.
أنا أتعلم العربية.
Aywa, mashallah. I love
Alhamdulillah. Practicing a little bit, for sure.
But I think you're going to like catch on really quickly because you're really in the culture, really immersed in it, appreciate kind of the setting you're in, which most people don't do, especially when you think of people coming from outside over here.
Yeah.
It is a very cosmopolitan place. It's a place where
For sure.
you have kind of everything you want for any kind of lifestyle. And I love that you've delved into the kind of heritage elements that make up, you know, the history of this country and the city and its people, which is nice because you're really getting to see it for what it is, not just bits of it.
For sure.
And that's a really nice thing.
I think that's one of the things about Dubai people don't realize. When you go to other cultures, like when you go to Spain, for example, you will immediately meet Spanish people. In Dubai, it's very rare to actually meet Emiratis.
I've had a lot of people tell me, oh my gosh, you're the first Emirati I've ever met. I said, what?
It's so
and
true.
It's so funny. It really does depend on where you are, I guess, and how much you're willing to, I guess, venture out. But it is different because it's not the same here. That's true.
Yeah, I agree. The reason why I actually wanted you to come here and speak to you is because I'm quite new to this world. It's been about a year. August 2022 was when I first discovered what a Birkin bag was, for example. And that's what really fascinated me, was understanding that, wait, hold on, you don't just buy bags, like you actually invest into certain bags, you're actually building these collections. Like I found it so fascinating seeing like women as well as men like really fall in love with this brand. And first of all, how many bags do you have from Hermes?
From Hermes? Not that many. I've got maybe 7.
Not that many, but just 7. You can only get 2 a year,
8.
guys. 8. Oh, it's not that many, but you forgot you had one.
I'm working on my collection. I've met people who have. I've met, oh my gosh, I met someone. Mashallah, mashallah. She has over 100.
Wow.
And I'm talking over 100 wish list bags, not just any old bag. I'm talking in that 100, and it's more, I'm sure, were comprised of Birkins, Kellys, and the hardest ones to get your hands on. So I was looking at it and I'm like, this, inshallah, is inspiration, absolute goals. So I'm at a modest 8.
And does this lady live in Dubai? Or?
Yes. She's not originally from here, but she lives here. And it's what an appropriate place to be. Like her collection is phenomenal.
Okay.
And we do have, I think, a lot of people with incredible collections living here. Anytime I go to any of the fashion events here, like the pieces that I see people carrying, I'm like, oh, you know, they're just museum worthy.
You notice it more here, but I think that's because of also the safety. Like when you go down Bond Street in London, you see the odd Birkin, but it's quite like just a, well, I say simple, but a simple Birkin, right? But when you go down to Dubai Mall, like we done a video there spotting Birkin bags in Dubai Mall.
Cargos, Himalayans, diamond encrusted. It's the stuff that you don't typically see on just an average Tuesday morning at a mall.
Do you think you would have the collection you have if you lived in London?
I don't know, actually. I didn't feel as comfortable carrying some of my pieces because I did live in London. I was there. Yeah, I was there for about 5 years.
Oh, okay.
I studied there and my gosh, I love it. But I know that I wasn't as comfortable. Also, I wasn't in a place to have as much as I have now in my collection.
Right, okay.
But even what I did have, I didn't always feel the most comfortable carrying.
Okay.
But here, it's not like that. Even when I travel today, I don't really take most of my like precious pieces with me because I'm not comfortable in the places I go to. Here, I'm happy to.
Yeah.
Like you'll see me come to work with my bags and I'm like, Adi. But other places, I don't feel that way.
Okay. And tell people why they should buy Birkins. Why should they invest into
Oh my
not
God.
just Birkins, but
It's so worth it. It's so worth it. And you don't even have to talk about their wish list pieces. Hermes pieces in general hold their value so well. And if you're looking at, I don't know, building a collection or getting pieces for your wardrobe or accessories, anything you're looking at getting, you can shop those pieces, use them, and then at least get some of your money back for it, which if you're talking about a high street brand, that's not going to happen, right?
Yeah, true.
But it will happen with, say, Hermes or some of these other brands that we're talking about. And another thing with the bags, that is actually a solid investment that is a smart way to spend your money. If you're someone who's thinking of spending your money, a lot of people, when they spend it, that's it, it's gone.
Yeah.
Whereas when you're putting it into certain pieces, like say a Birkin or a Kelly or a classic Chanel flap, you know, there are many things that you could spend on, which in a lot of ways isn't just putting your money into a bag, but you're keeping that money safe.
Okay.
So you're not actually spending your money. You're
Yeah.
just changing the way it looks into a really pretty bag.
Yeah, exactly. Storing it.
Exactly. You're storing it instead of putting it in a bank, instead of putting it in a savings, you're just storing it. And if you're smart about it, you know, years down the line, if you ever need that money or if you don't want that piece anymore, you could sell it and a lot of times make more than what you spent on it back.
Okay.
And that to me is a much smarter way of shopping. And I know a lot of people like to shop, but there are better ways of shopping, and then there are maybe not as wise ways to shop.
Okay.
Shopping these pieces is a smart way to shop.
Yeah, I agree. Like I think about that. I like Zara, but every single time I go there, I must buy the same piece of clothing like 3 or 4 times
What do you mean?
because of the quality. Like they just break, right?
Oh, yeah.
So like for example, the amount of black and white tracksuits I bought from there, I'm not joking. This year, or like over the Christmas period was when I wore them a lot. I'm really not exaggerating, probably about 10 of each color. Just because the black would fade or it would rip, the white, I'd get a stain on it and I'd throw them away. And they're like 50 quid each. So like 10 times 50, that's 500 quid. So that's like £1,000 on these bad quality tracksuits that I just wasted my money on. But with this type of fashion, it's not like that. The quality things tend
That's true. I have pieces in my wardrobe that belong to my mother, my aunt, my grandmother.
Yeah.
That have lasted, and I foresee lasting quite a long time. So the quality is another element which you can count on, especially with certain brands. Like if you're talking about clothing, Loro Piana, incredible. You know, there are other brands out there, including Hermes. Oh my God, and how much I've gotten into Hermes ready to wear. It's expensive, don't get me wrong. And if you want to sell it, you might not get all that money back.
Right.
But they've started to really up their game with their styles. And like you can see, I'm a bright person.
You really are.
But they've really upped their collections to be fun and just beautiful. And you know you're getting something which, again, if I were to buy a dress, say from Zara, I wouldn't be able to sell it for like much if I wanted to wear it and then sell it off. Like you wouldn't get anything back. But if I got a dress from Hermes, maybe I wouldn't get what I spent on it back, but I would get something back.
You could go on holiday.
Exactly. I could do a nice little trip. I keep in mind myself when I personally do my shopping is what's a smart thing to spend on, or if I get the urge, because I love to shop, I really do. When I get the urge to shop, I think to myself, okay, what should I get? What can I get that I won't be losing out on?
Okay. And talking about shopping and holidays, you've been to Paris a few times, I've noticed, in the past year. I think twice I've noticed from Instagram. Yeah? And there's a little...
3 times.
3 times, there you go. There's rumours going around that like Paris is the best place to score these bags. Like, what is your experience and stories behind shopping for these?
The only reason I actually started going to Paris for this reason is because I waited a long time after being promised that I'd be getting a wish list bag here.
In Dubai? Right.
Which, if you want to shop Hermes, as much as I love this city and this country, I don't love shopping Hermes here.
Really?
No.
Why is that?
It is impossible to even make it to get a wish list piece. It's different in every place. Here's
Okay.
one of the hardest.
Why do you think that is?
I think because maybe they have such huge spenders and they prioritize special requests depending on who it comes from, and they prioritize who is essentially willing to spend in abundance.
Of course, yeah.
As opposed to what I think of as being like a fair
Yeah.
relationship. It's not so much other places you go, I feel they more care about your relationship with the brand, how much you appreciate the brand, how much you care to shop the different pieces. Here, I don't think the Hermes values that we might see in other countries are the values that they carry here.
They're looking for the people that, it's controversial, but it seems like they're looking for the people that are just going to buy the furniture, the big ticket items.
Yeah,
and then
they
give
just
them,
want people to spend.
Yeah.
And they like that's the priority. And it's funny because I've heard from associates in different places where they told me about their experiences. For example, people coming in saying, oh, if I buy this watch right now, can I get a bag? And they're like, it's a pleasure for you to get this watch. People who truly are associates who truly respect the brand, who respect a client's love for the brand. And I've noticed in a lot of other places, it's almost offensive to just say, oh, I'll buy this and you give me what you want. But that's kind of how it is here. Like
100%, yeah.
I've never spoken to someone here who has had a different impression.
Interesting, okay.
Not once.
Okay.
And being in this industry, this is something we talk about a lot. I was promised last year for quite a few months that I could expect my wish list piece. And I was turning 30 and I thought to myself, like, for sure, I'm going to get it for my birthday. And it was going to be a gift to myself. And I was excited about this. I really looked forward to it. And it didn't happen. And that really bummed me out because I was being told.
By the SA?
It's a complete mess and I don't want to go so into it. But it was, essentially just being promised that and then it not happening.
Hopefully they're not watching this.
Or let them watch it. Like, shame on you.
She's got the bag
False
now.
promises. Yes, I've got a few bags now. So it's so funny because I spoke about, in every country it's different, but in France or in Paris, it's where you might have more luck on your side. It's not a guarantee by any means.
I see, okay.
There are a lot of people who go there looking to score a bag and it doesn't happen. So I just happened to get lucky. Now, my husband saw that I'm not going to say in despair, but I was bummed out that it didn't happen. And so he, for my birthday, got me and my best friend tickets to go to Paris.
Oh, okay.
And that's why I ended up
and
going
that's
there.
how it happened.
And he's like, Eeman, I don't want you to complain about it. Just go there and see if it happens. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? Okay, I, in my mind, didn't put the expectation that I will get the bag. Yeah. I'm like, I'm going to go there. I'm going to have a great trip with my best friend and just see what happens.
Okay.
And I saw what happened.
And it was amazing.
And it was amazing.
It was like a dream come true.
It was a dream come true. And I got so happy. Alhamdulillah. And I thought to myself, like, that wouldn't have happened if I ended up scoring a bag here.
Okay.
And can you imagine, like, if you score one bag here, it's not like you can expect another.
Yeah.
They expect you. Again, it's almost like a trade.
Yeah, of course.
Whereas anywhere else, I think they appreciate, and this is something I noticed in France, they appreciate people who appreciate the brand.
Okay.
And they appreciate people who don't brag or kind of show off, which is interesting because I saw people sometimes walking into the store there with, very hard to come by bags and just saying, oh, I want to get something. And they're like, you can't just come and ask for something. And they'll say, oh, but here and here I get anything. And they don't really care about, I don't know, being like a show off. That's where I think a merger of kindness, also the willingness to spend, are where they perfectly meet.
Interesting. It does almost come across like a very lucky situation. Like everyone I know who seems to get offered one of these bags, it comes from a very lucky perspective. Like there's two girls in Luxury Promise in London. Won't say who, but there's one that's got 2 this year.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, and both the stories just
Which I love
so
your
lucky.
pieces, congrats.
Yeah, they're very, very amazing. Like the first one that I found out, I was like, whoa, that's lucky, like very, very lucky.
Yeah.
And then there's someone else, I'll tell you after the show, who got one last week. And it's a very unique piece. It was a Kelly dance. Does it
Okay,
dance?
very nice.
Yeah?
Yes. I'd like to get one of those.
Yeah. And she always wears backpacks.
I think I know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I need to like go on social media. Has she posted it?
No.
Okay.
And it's very lucky. Like, she doesn't scream Hermes. She doesn't always wear them. Surprising to me that she actually got offered the bag. So kind of what you're saying, the lucky side of things, but also doesn't brag or show off about it.
Yeah.
And somehow...
I noticed like this a few times when I went this past year, which have been very fortunate. But I noticed that they didn't appreciate people bragging. And they didn't appreciate people coming and trying to like buy their way into one of these pieces. They appreciated people who loved these pieces. And I respected that a lot.
Yeah.
I have to say it's like the polar opposite of here. Like I have no complaints about here. I absolutely love this place. I think nowhere compares for so many reasons, except Hermes. I feel like you've got quite the twist on this podcast. The real story about Hermes in the UAE. I don't know about the UAE. I don't know what Abu Dhabi is like, but Dubai.
Oh, we'll have to try it.
I know.
Yeah, for sure. It's interesting. Like, I really prefer when the girls carry like really rough looking Birkins. When they're really like
like that one right there.
Like just a slouchy look, like just throw it on the table. Like it's
I like
just
having the one that is just like,
it doesn't matter.
I'm gonna love you the way Jane Birkin loved her Birkin.
Exactly. Like so classy.
Yeah.
I think that's classy. But then I understand when you've got a fresh Mini Kelly, like you want to protect that with all costs.
Yeah, you want to protect it at all costs.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
Walk carefully.
I think we're yet to see the Jane Birkin version of a Mini Kelly. Have you seen one?
I've never even thought about it.
Do you know what? When I make my first billions, I'm going to do that.
You're going to Jane Birkin a Mini Kelly?
Yeah, because I'm always walking around with like 3 or 4 phones like every day. And I always think I should just have one just to keep all the phones in.
What size are your phones? It won't fit a phone. I mean, depends on your phone.
And it doesn't, does it?
Not a Pro Max.
Okay.
Not the large iPhone.
Well, the 2 I've got at the moment, they're the small ones.
You'll be fine.
Okay.
With maybe one.
The small one. But then the Pro is always best for videos because I do the content.
Yeah.
So I always need some. I didn't think about this.
I can't fit my phone in my Mini.
Oh, okay. I need a different bag idea then.
So I don't carry her so much as I love her. I think my favorite bag is the Elan at the moment. I didn't realize the Kelly Elan. It fits what you need and it looks amazing and I love it. But I don't even know like what I would want to go for next. Inshallah, I'm looking to build my collection. Like, you know, I have ideas in my mind.
Yeah.
But I do think I'd be happy with like another Kelly Elan. The Birkin 25, I think, is the most amazing bag. Full stop. Like that, I want to have hundreds of.
Very nice.
No, I'm good with 10. But like, eventually, it'll happen. I'm like keeping my mind positive.
Love that.
Yeah.
With a quick idea that I have. It's like a fire question session. So I'm going to ask you 2 choices and then give me your answer. First one is picnic or cargo?
Picnic.
Mini Kelly or Birkin 40?
Mini Kelly.
Elan or Kelly dance?
Elan.
Ooh. Would you rather only wear Hermes for the rest of your life or you can only wear Chanel?
Chanel.
See, I threw this in because Emman loves Chanel.
I love Chanel. You can see it.
You would pick Chanel over Hermes?
Oh God, I love Chanel. I have always loved Chanel. I've been like, since I was a little girl, I used to think to myself, like my top goal and dream was to own a lot of Chanel. To be walking around in Chanel. I loved the models. I loved the runway shows. I loved their collections. And I always aspired for it. And that's kind of what was in my mind when I was working. It wasn't... I got more into Hermes the older I got. Yeah. But that's why I'm saying now, like their clothing now is really fun. You know, their fashion now has become fun. But Chanel has always been fun. And I love the youthfulness, the fun, I feel like happy in Chanel.
Do you know what? You just made me think about something there. You said like how fun Hermes has just become. And I had my first horse riding lesson yesterday. Now, Hermes is naturally like horse riding gear.
They're known for, their equestrian gear and all of that.
So maybe this is my little break into it. Maybe that's what I should do.
You're going to get yourself an Hermes saddle?
Yeah.
I like it. Oh my God.
And then they definitely would offer me a bag.
I think so, yeah. For sure. They'd have to.
They would. If I start collecting the
like
horse
he
pieces.
Is down with the core of Hermes.
Let's see what happens next time on the podcast.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
You're a celebrity stylist. You have worked on multiple really exciting projects.
Every single year, I go into COS and I buy 365 t-shirts. I used to have a Vivienne Westwood necklace with the orb and then All Saints belt that said Jesus loves you.